It's a case of mistaken identity for Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart. You know, because they're so much alike. That's the gag. Let's talk about Netflix's The Man from Toronto. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Netflix film, The Man from Toronto. This is currently sitting atop the Netflix movie charts. I don't think anything right now can touch Stranger Things Season 4 on the overall scale. But for movies, this is currently at #1 on Netflix. And this was supposed to be a theatrically released movie, but I'm not sure if it was COVID related or not, but Netflix ended up buying the rights to air this. So they have the streaming exclusive there on this one. And listen, not a lot of positive buzz around this movie. I think it's sitting at about 26% right now with critics on Rotten Tomatoes, so not great, but we'll see how I felt about it here in just a moment. First, though, I do want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thanks for finding my video and my channel as well. We post about 5 or 6 movie and TV review videos per week. Mostly new stuff. Every so often we dive into some older stuff as well, maybe for an anniversary or something. But yeah, if you like movies and TV, this is the place to be for your review. So let's get into this movie. Like I mentioned, it's Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart, and Hart plays this, New York wannabe big shot. He's got all these ideas. All of them go nowhere. He's sort of, a big screw up, a big disaster. And then Woody Harrelson plays the world's deadliest assassin, theoretically. And through a series of events, they are mistaken for each other, including a mistake at an Airbnb. With a rental there. So all of a sudden, Kevin Hart, who plays Teddy, has to be thrust into this deadly universe in which Toronto is accustomed to. And yes, so Woody Harrelson's character's name, as far as we know it, is just Toronto, which is kind of funny because, of course, in Zombieland, they sort of went by the names of the towns that they were from. So Woody Harrelson kind of been down that path already. And he's also been down the path of sort of dealing with the nerdy mess of a person in those movies where he has to sort of take Jesse Eisenberg under his wing and sort of, the rolling of the eyes and the moaning and groaning about, you're not worthy of being in my group kind of thing. And so we see, that whole thing gets kind of mirrored here. And that is not the only thing with the mirroring, because about 20 minutes into this is an action comedy. And about 20 minutes in, I was getting real Hitman's Bodyguard type vibes. And so I did a little digging as I was watching. And sure enough, it is from the same director of both of the Hitman Bodyguard movies, Patrick Hughes. And there we had Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson, buddy action comedy, two people from different universes having to come together, and work for the greater good. Now, in that one, Ryan Reynolds was sort of assigned to be Sam Jackson's bodyguard. Here, we don't have quite those same circumstances, but a lot of other things are sort of par for the course, including the type of humor and the sort of quippy dialogue and the explosion-heavy scenes. So there's a lot of parallels there, and I'll be honest, those movies are not among the best. I gave the second one a D, I believe. The first one, I think a C or a C minus, maybe a C plus if I was feeling generous that day, but certainly in that, average type of range to below average. And so I get it. I get the critics' issue, or many of their issues with this movie. Now, originally in the Woody Harrelson role was supposed to be Jason Statham, and I don't know if, because of COVID, schedules, got messed up and he couldn't be in it anymore or whatever the case may be. But originally this was supposed to be a Statham film. And to be honest, I love Woody Harrelson. He, I think, is one of the greatest actors around, to be honest. But I think because this role and this movie on the whole is so sort of similar to a Zombieland vibe, and it's not nearly as clever as Zombieland, it's not nearly as good as Zombieland, so I don't want you to get those comparisons, but just in terms of the way his character is written and sort of the quippy nature of the dialogue, which, Kevin Hart, we're used to having that sort of dialogue from him. Woody Harrelson's sort of been there, done that. Not that Statham hasn't, but I don't know. I think it might have been a slightly better movie with Jason Statham, and I am shocked that I'm even saying that, because I think Woody Harrelson is by far a better actor. But I think in this type of movie, maybe the Statham route was the better way to go. I'm not sure, but in any event, the movie that we have been given is really not all that good. Now, I will admit, I did laugh a few times. I think Kevin Hart is funny, but he is doing kind of the same shtick that he always does. So if you don't really like that, maybe this is a pass. But I do usually like that, much like Ryan Reynolds in the Hitman Bodyguard movies. I like his style. I like his sense of humor. And so I can get behind it in that regard. But here we're going, down to the female co-star, is one of them anyways, Kaylee Cuoco. And we had her and Kevin Hart together in The Wedding Ringer years ago, which was a pretty average movie too. So, this movie is really dredging up some past movies, and many of them not that great, So obviously, since this is the guy that did the Hitman's Bodyguard movies, he doesn't think that those movies are bad, but they're not that good. But I will admit, look, there's a few interesting action sequences. I think the end fight is well done. I think it takes way too long to get there, and by that time, you've probably checked out on this movie and these characters. But it's good if you get there. The Ellen Barkin character, she's sort of the head boss, Toronto's sort of boss figure, I guess. She is horrible here. I'm not really an Ellen Barkin fan. She's sort of a little cuckoo, but I've seen her in some things that I can say, okay, she's kind of funny in this, or kind of, droll in this. Here, she's just poorly written, over the top nature isn't really gelling with, I think, the rest of the people in this movie. I will say there's some okay chemistry between Harrelson and Hart. So there are a few slight positives here, but I think for the most part, unless you really are a fan of those Hitman Bodyguard movies, I think this is probably going to be a pass for you as well. I leave it slightly between the Hitman's Bodyguard 1 and 2. I'll give The Man from Toronto a D+. All right, thank you for watching. We'll see everybody next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.